Alrighty, we are now at the Ferguson 253, or the Massey Ferguson 253, and going over what my dad has done to it this year. This is our main chore tractor, so, well, this is our only tractor with a loader, so she doesn't really get a break a whole lot, which isn't good for it, but what can we do? I'm not putting a loader on this one. Too narrow. Probably going to get me killed. Especially if I take it back on the hillside. Not going to put a loader on this one. Neither of these have live power hydraulics. Why is this thing in neutral? Anyway, neither of these two have live hydraulics or independent power for the hydraulics. So every time you press the clutch on this tractor and on that tractor, you basically lose, besides stopping the tractor, stopping the transmission is connected to the hydraulic pump on this tractor. So when you press the clutch, it's also connected to the PTO. When the PTO's on and I press the clutch on this tractor, I lose power to the PTO and I also stop the tractor, therefore making a pain to run a baler with on this thing. Which is why we use that tractor all the time. Everything with PTO work but running a hay tedder we use that tractor for. Because you don't really need, the hay tedder is going to be constantly running unless you hit a big slug. Then you're going to have to stop, shift into neutral with this tractor. I've done it. I don't like baling with this tractor. We have baled with it before, though. It's just a pain in the butt, and I really don't like it. So anyway, back to what I was saying. I lose PTO power and I lose hydraulic power when I press the clutch on this tractor. Which, when working with a loader, you really don't want, because sometimes you actually do have, you do a lot of shifting when you have a loader and adjustments, at least in our building, when you're using the loader while cleaning out the barn especially. And then on our hillsides, these narrow fronts really aren't the safest on a hillside. I'll tell you that right now. But you just have to be careful with them. You gotta take your time. Don't get in a hurry. That's what my grandpa always told me, and you won't get in an accident. You won't roll it over. These are the easiest things to roll over because, one, no power steering. So as soon as one tire hits a hole, say the front end hits a hole, it's going to try and yank that steering wheel right out of your hand, and then if it does, and you're on a side hill, it's going to turn you downhill, and you're going to go down the hill and lose control, maybe. And that's not what you want. Or say one of these tires, these tractors sit taller compared to this tractor. They sit a lot higher up off the ground. And this is what you'd call a row crop tractor. So it's going to sit high enough to at least be able to cultivate the corn or soybeans back in the day at an early stage in its growth. So they had to make these tall. And also be able to sit in the plow furrow without getting hung up. Whereas this tractor, if you plow too deep, you're going to get hung up on the on the transmission housing and the flywheel housing. So that's why these tractors sit so tall. So the problem with that on a hillside is you run that tire in a sinkhole, she's going to try and go over if you're not careful. That's why we use this tractor a lot. Anyway, so it needed a new alternator. My dad replaced that. It needed a new pre-pump. So my dad replaced that. And the pre-pump, let's see, it needed a new line to the pre-pump. He replaced that, but we still have a problem with the petcock valve leaking at the actual valve itself. Sorry I can't get in there and show you. Just going to see the tractor itself. So the alternator was going bad. It was actually bad because it wasn't charging this year at all. So he did a replacement on that, brand new alternator. And the line to the pre-pump was leaking, so he replaced that. We had apparently been leaking pretty bad because we had fuel all over the engine block. It had been leaking at the valve. So he replaced that, got a new one. It still leaks, not as bad as the other one. And so we're just kind of waiting around to see if it's still leaking or if the O-rings just needed to get wet, get damp from the fuel to where they would swell. And that's about it that's been done to this tractor so far. The other thing that's got to be done, and that's going to come next year, is my dad's already talked to a guy. The clutch, because this is a loader tractor, we're using the clutch a lot, especially when using the loader. You're always shifting. When moving round bales from wagon to the barn, you're constantly shifting from forward and reverse. If we had a full power shift, that would be really nice, or a synchro mesh transmission that would save the clutch a little bit. But this isn't a synchro mesh or a full power shift. This is just a regular transmission. It's non-synchronized. So you have to sit there, or you have to double clutch it. You have to sit and wait, or you have to double clutch before you can shift. And when using the loader, it gets old very fast. Your leg gets tired pretty quick. Anyway, so the clutch is getting replaced in this. It's a 2-stage clutch, so there's 2 clutch plates, if I remember my dad telling me that correctly. So that's got to get replaced. And when I'm talking about dual stage clutch, you press down so far, that's for your transmission. You press down all the way, that allows you to turn your PTO on. That allows you to engage your PTO, and it shuts off your hydraulics once you press your clutch in all the way. That's what I mean by dual stage clutch. You also won't be able to use your 3-point either. And Massey's been known, at least in these older tractors, to have the dual stage clutch, which isn't bad. It's good. I like it, but it's a pain when round baling, especially. Whereas if I just had live power, independent PTO, it'd be a different story. Well, anyway, guys, that's it on this video. Thanks for watching. Please leave a comment, rate, and subscribe, and I will see y'all next time.